Welcome to lesson 46 of A Course in Miracles. God is the love in which I forgive. God is the love in which I forgive. And the lesson goes on saying that God cannot forgive because God never condemns. Yeah. So God, the source energy, he doesn't understand at the level that we're at. You know what I mean? It's not as if the source can say, oh, well, they are killing themselves, or they are, you know what I mean? This is not something that at that realm can be understood. This is something that it only happens at this level, 3D dimension, at this level of awareness. And yes, and in this dimension, yeah, not at that level. So for us to be able to understand this idea of forgiveness, we'll have to sort of look at it in the two ways. One is the at this level, the human level, the earthly sort of 3D dimension, that you do something to me and then you hurt me, and therefore I you know I can I judge you, and I got the power to forgive you or not forgive you. This is what we're doing to each other at this level. I mean, we have to admit that we do quite horrible things to each other. I mean, just look at the news or just hear some incidents that are happening around you, and you'll realize that at this level, forgiveness is an impossible. How can you forgive someone that raped you, or someone that raped someone that you loved, or someone that killed someone that you loved, or someone that betrayed you? At this level, no matter how much we try, we probably get stuck. And we can go as far as, well, yes, I forgive you, but I will never forget it, which is all the same thing. And it's amazing that we don't realize, and we think that because we have sort of giving but never forgetting, we are free. And the reality that this is not true. The moment you connect to that not forgetting a little bit, you'll realize that there's a lot of emotions stuck, and that means that you haven't forgiven. So that's one level. And as I said, it would probably be a huge expectation at this level to be able to try to forgive some things that has happened to us. So that's why we need to reach out to a different level, to a different dimension within ourselves, which is the true part of who we are, the part that we find when we go under all the layers of illusion, all the layers of judgment, perception, ideas, beliefs, thoughts, under all those layers, which really they in a way they're called the egoic mind. Once we go underneath all that, or hold on, underneath of that, then we can find the silence, the light, a different understanding. We find answers. And from here, when we are understanding our lives differently, from here we can dissolve illusion. Because once you have a learning and a divine understanding of a situation that you've gone through, there is no need to forgive anything, because you are actually seeing it from a different perspective already. So under the veils of illusion, you reach truth, or like the Course in Miracles is supporting us to look at, is we either look at from the mind of the ego, which is the same thing as the human mind and the 3D and this 3D dimension, or we look at through the eyes of God, the source, the divine. So just to summarize a little bit, when we're looking at our experiences through the eyes of the ego, forgiveness is quite impossible. It's actually impossible because, yes, you might try to understand it with your mind, but the emotions still stuck, and no, you're still stuck in not being able to forgive because you are believing the illusion. Even if you say, well, I forgive you really for what you've done, you in the egoic mind, there's someone that is guilty and that is someone that was the victim. So still at that level of illusion. So for us to be able to look at forgiveness from a different angle, we have to connect to the mind of God, and the illusion is dissolved. So the practice today is, like always, just having some quiet time for yourself and just repeating, God is the love in which I forgive you, and you just put a name, something that, and once you close your eyes, when you just start doing this lesson, you will notice how all those people, all those situations that you haven't been able to forgive will rise up to your consciousness. It's impossible. Once you tune in and you're doing this lesson, the judgment towards yourself, or the judgment towards a family member, or a friend, or a situation, or the government, or the health system, or something will come up. And this is the opportunity for you to look at it and see if you can feel a little bit more peace with this situation by doing this lesson, looking at forgiveness from the eyes of the divine, of God, of the source, and not from our human limited mind, the egoic mind. So God is the love in which I forgive myself, and this is crucial because many times we can't forgive ourselves. We just can't forgive ourselves. We're so angry with ourselves, God is the love with which I love myself. God is the love in which I am blessed. I cannot be guilty because I am a son or a child of God. I have already been forgiven. No fear is possible in a mind beloved of God. There is no need to attack because love has forgiven me. God is the love in which I forgive you and I forgive myself. And this is, we are more able to sort of somehow understand this lesson because we have been talking about attacks, thoughts, mind of God, the mind of the ego, past, that we're looking at our lives through the lenses of our past. So this lesson will be a little bit easier because you have been practicing and you had made it to lesson 46. So it doesn't really matter if you can get it completely. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if you can forgive at the moment. Just be open to create more peace within, and just be committed to be free of all these illusions and all this suffering. That's all is required for us, and things will get clear as we go. Have a great lesson, and I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 47.